like my heart is dead.
This is God Song Jam 7. But it's not a jam exactly, it's a Sabbath rest. So get yourself in a comfy position, wiggle a nice spot into the couch cushions, grab a pillow, pause it if you got to, and relax. Are you sitting comfy? The first time the Bible mentions Sabbath rest is when God makes the world.
You rested on the seventh day, oh, that's what he do. But I haven't rested since 2002. Enjoying God's gifts helps me get in control, and the rock and roll music brings the rest to my soul.
He spends 6 days making the moon, sun, stars, fishies, and
He
people.
rested on the seventh day, oh, that's what he do. But I haven't rested since 2002. Enjoying God's gifts helps me get in control, and Chopin's Nocturnes bring the rest to my soul.
Then on the seventh day, he rests. When God gave the 10 Commandments to his special people, the Israelites, he told them to copy that Sabbath pattern. Work hard for 6 days, then on the seventh day, take a break. In Matthew 11, Jesus tells people to come to him to find rest for their souls. In Jesus' life, even when he was really busy, he always made time to get away and rest, and to spend time with the people that were close to him. The story of Mary and Martha in Luke chapter 10 reminds us that we can get busy and stressed out with things that seem really important, but in doing that, we can miss the things that are most important, which are often more restful too. Sabbath rest is a sign of God's grace and love for his people. Psalm 127 says that making yourself exhausted and stressed out trying to do important things all the time is unnecessary because God gives sleep to his beloved people. Parents, I'm talking to you right now. Your heavenly Father is telling you to rest because he loves you. So does your Sabbath rest have to happen on a Sunday? Are there certain activities you're not allowed to do while you're resting? I don't believe so. Since Jesus died and rose again and fulfilled the Old Testament law, followers of Jesus aren't required to follow the law in the same way the Israelites were. If the Israelites worked on the Sabbath, which was Saturday for them, they were in trouble. And there were certain things they weren't allowed to do, like ride kangaroos. Just kidding, I made that up. You should never ride kangaroos. Jesus fulfilled the law, but as the scriptures I mentioned earlier show, the concept of rest is still very important to God. He wants it for us. We just don't have to do it in a specific way anymore. It's okay if you decide to rest on Tuesday or Thursday, or carve time out of every week to do things that bring rest to your mind and body.
He rested on the seventh day, oh, that's what he do. But I haven't rested since 2002. Enjoying God's gifts helps me get in control, and going outside brings the rest to my soul.
Rest for me doesn't usually mean sitting around. I like to do outdoor work, go on walks, play piano, and I love to be with people. But sometimes I just need to take a nap. So at Joyful on Music, we decided it was time to take a month off from full-scale God Song Jams, which is why you're watching this right now. and it was the 7th month, so it was pretty poetic and a good illustration of Sabbath to do it that way. But don't expect us to do it exactly that way every time. I find for me personally, that type of rigidness doesn't usually work. But on the other hand, it's way too easy to neglect Sabbath rest if you don't actively commit to it. So here's my personal commitment. I, Benny, in my work with Joyful Law Music, am going to actively resist being a slave to productivity, and instead, I'll embrace God's grace of Sabbath. I'm going to actively build rhythms of rest and fun into what jamb does. And it's going to be okay to take a week or a month off here and there with no apologies. And hey, I know we make these jams for kids, and this message maybe has more obvious application to adults. But I think it's important to bake concepts like this into your life from the beginning. Remember God's grace. Remember, it's not always about what you accomplish. And remember that sleep is important. And on that note, if you ever see me in person, remind me to take a nap, even though my kids might not let me. Crazy kids.
Subscribe to the channel, please, and click like on the video. Subscribe to the channel.